In this video, we're going to talk about Spawn, and to be the man, you gotta beat the man. This is Spawn's toughest fight yet. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 367, brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. So previously in Spawn, the creature from hell has shrunk and is now ready to reveal its true power. But before we go into the issue, I gotta give a shout out to Miranda Humor. And this is her words, not mine, your favorite autistic war criminal. At San Diego Comic-Con, she was a sweetheart. She came up to our booth, said hi, had to give a shout out right back to her as promised. So Miranda Humor, your favorite autistic war criminal, thank you for stopping by. And we will be at LA Comic-Con. If you guys are gonna plan on stop by, look out for us on social media and look out for our booth number. But with all that being said, time to get back into the content. So with Hell's Queen reeling from Spawn's disobedience, she temporarily abandoned her servant. So now this demon who was causing destruction has shrunk down and goes up to Spawn face to face. So now isolated, the creature is now left on its own, and though it hungers for the newfound freedom, its recent creation means it doesn't yet have the knowledge to understand what it's up against. So the creature speaks to Spawn. My queen no longer speaks to me, but I will still fulfill my mission. By now, you know what you are required to do, Spawn. So for the final time, as a being born in hell, do your duty. Ignite me with your necroplasm power. Then I shall turn my wrath up to God and his heaven. Touch my hand and I'll be gone. And Spawn looks at him like, I don't know about all this. I don't even know if I could trust you like that. Hell no, touch your hand and give you my power? Weaken me again so you can do your thing? I don't think so. So the creature's like, you hesitate? Perhaps a trade may help. So it backhands Spawn, gets him out of there, and it makes an offer. The creature needs to be unhindered for a few moments so that it can vacuum up its prey. And choosing the weakest among the heroes still standing, he chooses Taylor. And he shatters Taylor's bones just like we shatter toothpicks. And he tells Spawn, are you ready to obey now, Spawn? And Spawn is top G, ain't saying nothing. You hesitate, it will cost the boy another arm. And he snaps Taylor's other arm like a toothpick, and Taylor passes out from the pain and just throws him to the side like a rag. But another of the heroes has seen enough, summoning all his speed to act like a missile in the hopes of snapping the enemy's back. And that's Focus, the speedster. And now the creature's like, oh, interesting, a speedster's trying to throw hands with me? But shockingly, the creature matches his Focus quickness for quickness. And Focus wasn't ready for them hands like that. So the creature's like, I can injure more of you if you want, Spawn, or you can give me a necro touch. But Haunting Tent comes in and he tries to throw hands with the creature, but he was trying to stage an ambush, but he forgotten the creature has just displayed its speed. It was ready for Haunt. So the lapse in judgment will now savagely almost cost Focus his life. And that's the key word right there, almost. So speed combined with the monster strength sends a piece of building debris flying as one of the heroes falls again, and Haunt has to go back and retreat in a way, if you will. And for the first time, the question needs to be asked, is this creature actually more powerful now that it's smaller? So Spawn has to step in. Your fight is with me. Oh, says the creature, so you do speak. Leave the others out of it, because if you want me, you gotta beat me. And it won't matter how many of them you kill, because I don't think you can beat me. Spawn is ready to throw down. And the creature's like, under one condition, you tell your pets to stay out of it. In an agreement, Spawn nods for them to stand down and let Daddy do the attack. And the creature tells Spawn, you should have taken my trade. Now I'll just force it from me. And Spawn's like, bro, shut up, then do it then. But that's exactly what the creature does. Goes in with that speed and almost effortlessly delivers blow for blow as it asserts its will on Spawn. And the scores, She Spawn, Cygor, Gunslinger Spawn, Medieval Spawn, Redeemer, Dakota, Blood, Plague Spawn, and Disruptor, they all just look like, well, I can't see a damn thing. It's all this smoke. Is Spawn even defeating this thing? World is coming to an end. But meanwhile, in Langley, Virginia, the Pentagon, they're all deciding what's up with this force field with that creature talked about in the previous issue, and what are we doing? How can we have no intel on that creature? How can we never knew this creature even existed? And if there's any of those enhanced beings inside that energy bubble, because in the previous issue an energy bubble was formed to keep the humans out of it. This is between Hellspawn and all the spawns and all Heaven and Angel agents alike. They want to know at Langley. Let's hope they get out alive and in one piece. But what we see here is Haunt hurt, Taylor is hurt, and the Focus is hurt. And it might be just too late. And in truth, Hell and its queen are unconcerned about Earth's wishes. The creature's throwing down with Spawn. Boom, boom, boom. See these hands. And the thing is, she means to soon rule the universe. But that only happens once she defeats God and Heaven. And the creature's like, I will find another Hellspawn who will help our cause, who will help us rule. Now die, Hellspawn. And before Hellspawn can die, before he can lay that final blow, well, let's just say that hand has to be sliced right off. And Poacher's like, not today, he won't. And you wanting to kill the one being that can help you shows Hell isn't ready to leave. You're still driven by your emotions like the humans. Barely listening, the creature regrows his severed arm, only to have that removed again. I'm done playing your game, says Poacher. It's time you leave Earth. So Poacher's kinetic shockwaves are meant to paralyze its target. It's something his breed slowly developed over the thousands of years of living, an adaptive evolution to help them ward off both Heaven and Hell's influence. For centuries, he's fought against their encroachments. Watch them poison this planet by their very existence. Like they somehow control everything, including the animals, but they don't. Neither God or Satan has been able to permanently recruit any animal. And that's according to Poacher, but according to Genesis, it's a whole other thing. So lions, tigers, elephants, and all the rest of the animal kingdom, nature meant for them to be wild and for them to stay that way. And the creature's like, she will torture you for this. Hell's been saying that for centuries, says Poacher, yet here I am. But like some mythic lumberjack, it took Poacher just one swing of his axe to split the beast in two. That act, though, now turns the creature's destroyed body into a beacon, channeling Hell's queen to put a final ending to this battle. She knows her servant's mission has failed, and Nyx knows that. It will never enter the halls of heaven, but it will alert God himself that Hell had planned for his assassination. He will now come for the queen, Nyx, directly. She isn't nearly ready for that kind of encounter, alright? She turns that anger of reality upon Poacher, as she means to literally burn him alive. Another of Hell's creations has differing plans. And Spawn's like, man, I regret ever putting you up in that throne. I should have taken Hell's throne my damn self. He's referencing back in Spawn issue 350. He thought Nyx would have more humanity than him, but she is empty. His choice of putting Nyx there instead of him will prove to be his greatest mistake ever. For today though, protecting Earth is all that matters. In the Maelstrom, Queen Nyx's voice sends one last threat. When I'm done, when I'm finished with God, every human will die, poisoned by my energy. To back up her threat, she cocoons herself in a radioactive energy, beginning to spread its deadly effects. Spawn doesn't move anyway. You want God? Then I'll give you a piece of him. It's been a while, but since the recent return of his powers, because that's when Jim Downing was Spawn, then Spawn Al Simmons became Spawn again, Spawn has felt an inkling of Heaven's influence trying to resurface. So he allows it to manifest itself, to become the weapon he'd been given by God when he had been trapped in limbo. The blade known as the Sword of the Spirit, and it's referencing back in Spawn 250 to 251, issues we haven't covered on this channel, at least not yet, but I'm intrigued. So Spawn's like, okay bruh, let's see if he can handle it now. In a blink, the forces of heaven and hell intersect. Spawn goes in, causing a collision of energy, triggering a massive reaction, letting everyone know that the battle they thought was over wasn't, but it is now, and Earth has been spared. But what of its heroes? And She Spawn, Gunsticker Spawn, Redeemer, all of them look to see if Al Simmons is still alive. And that is the end of Spawn issue number 367. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Spawn's toughest fight yet. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. Yo, this is definitely giving off Avengers Endgame vibes to me, but I totally dig it. So link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. And lastly, this video is sponsored by coffee, so if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to Rated Comics YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching. Till the next upload.